Caitlyn Clark once again dominates WNBA national TV schedule.
The Fever, they lead the league with 41 games here, followed by the Aces 33, the champion Liberty at 32.
41 of our 44 games are on national television, the most television games in franchise history, the most national television games for a single team in WNBA history. I'm sure this is because of Angel Reese.
They were once overlooked, forgotten, and buried at the bottom of the standings. But now, the Indiana Fever have taken over.
Broadcast this season, ooh-wee, big-time doubleheader. Angel Reese, Caitlyn Clark, they meet in the season opener.
Indiana Fever put this out. All eyes on us.
With such star power on those teams, it's really no surprise they're atop the list for the most games available for you to check out on a national scale.
Crowned as the #1 team in America, not because they won a title, but because they've become the most watched, most talked about, and most in-demand franchise in the sport.
More people are getting on board. More people are watching women's basketball. More people are watching women's college basketball. Do not slow the momentum because of ego.
Caitlyn Clark draws massive viewership and other teams don't. Caitlyn Clark averaged about 1.2 million viewers per game and the rest of the league about 400 to 500,000.
And the reason is as obvious as it is undeniable. Caitlyn Clark, one player, one name, one unstoppable force has flipped the WNBA upside down.
The Indiana Fever will have more nationally televised games this season than the last two WNBA champions. Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever get the most airtime because they're America's team, baby. Deal with it. Slows. Growing the game doesn't mean focusing on one player and her toxic MAGA cult fans. As for Caitlyn Clark, the player,
she hasn't just changed her team, she's reshaping the entire league. And while the media scrambles to keep up and rivals scramble to keep her off their home court, one thing is clear. Everything in women's basketball now revolves around the Indiana Fever. Not long ago, the Indiana Fever were buried at the bottom of the league, irrelevant to most, overlooked by media, and forgotten by fans.
Caitlyn Clark is the GOAT.
She signed my jersey. I'm so happy. I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlyn Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
Their games barely made TV, their arena seats sat half empty, and no one was checking for Fever jerseys in stores. But then, one name changed everything: Caitlyn Clark. The moment she was drafted, the Indiana Fever became a headline. And not just in WNBA circles, nationally, ESPN, CNN, Bleacher Report. Even political shows were talking about the Caitlyn Clark effect.
With everyone trying to diminish the wave that was happening, the Clarkonomics that were happening, the Caitlyn Clark effect that was happening, and realizing it is not only going to be good for this Indiana Fever team, it's going to be great for everyone. It's going to be great for every single player in the WNBA and also every single team in the WNBA.
Before she played a single pro game, the Fever's season ticket sales spiked by more than 300%. Preseason games sold out. Merchandise flew off shelves. The team's online engagement shattered records. Suddenly, a franchise that had been invisible was now leading the entire country in fan interest and media presence. And this wasn't just hype. It translated directly to dollars and dominance.
Whether you like the Indiana Fever or not, whether you like Caitlyn Clark or not, it has gotten to the point where we can no longer deny the fact that they are the biggest draw in the WNBA, and they proved that all of last season.
Within weeks, the Indiana Fever became the most streamed WNBA team across all platforms. Their games pulled in more views than some NBA matchups. Local broadcasts reported their highest ratings in over a decade. Even road games were turning into events. Everywhere Caitlyn went, tickets sold out. Teams were moving venues, increasing security, and doubling media access just to keep up with the demand.
If I was the WNBA, I would have considered a separate television package to a network on just Caitlyn Clark games. I would have had two packages, the WNBA package, and then a separate, let's say, 15 to 18 game Caitlyn Clark package.
6 WNBA networks set ratings records this season, all Caitlyn Clark. 23 WNBA games drew more than 1 million viewers. Clark played in 20 of them.
The Indiana Fever were no longer just a team, they became a movement. What makes it even more powerful is that Caitlyn Clark wasn't walking into a super team. She joined a struggling roster, No championships, no momentum, just raw potential. And yet, the moment she stepped on the court, the atmosphere changed. Her presence elevated the energy, her confidence lifted teammates, and her court vision, paired with her signature logo threes, turned every Fever possession into must-watch TV.
Caitlyn Clark, the Indiana Fever schedule has come out. We now know how many national games they got. The Indiana Fever is America's team, but the old WNBA fans are furious over it. They're mad. They're crying.
And the results? Immediate. With Clark at the helm, the Fever became competitive again. They started winning games no one thought they'd win. Close losses turned into statement victories. Fans who had never watched a women's game in their lives were suddenly posting play-by-plays, breaking down her shooting mechanics, and buying season passes.
The Liberty and Aces, they're going to clash here 3 times. All 3 of those are on ABC and ESPN. The Fever and the Sky, they meet 5 times. Caitlyn Clark, the revamped Fever, they look to build on their success.
There have been 6 teams that have changed venues when the Indiana Fever come to play. All of these arenas are selling out.
The Fever weren't chasing relevance. They became the standard. And while other teams have all-stars, MVPs, and future Hall of Famers, none of them are doing what Caitlyn is doing, redefining what it means to carry a franchise in the modern era. The Fever were crowned the #1 team not because of a trophy, but because they're now the center of gravity for an entire sport.
WNBA's attendance had a record-breaking high in 20 years with a total of 2.3 million fans attending games. You know what the increase was from 2024 to 2023 in attendance? 48%. That's massive. That's the Caitlyn Clark effect.
Phenomenon, yeah.
If Caitlyn Clark gets injured, it's over with. Tom.
Every single one of you WNBA players, you better pray that Caitlyn Clark doesn't get injured because she's keeping your league afloat.
And it's all because one woman walked in and changed the game before the ball even tipped. It's one thing to bring attention to a team. It's another to completely redefine its identity. And that's exactly what Caitlyn Clark has done for the Indiana Fever. Before her arrival, they were barely part of the national conversation. Now, they are the conversation. And it's not just because she scores, it's because she elevates everything around her. Teammates who were once buried in stat sheets are now becoming household names. Role players are shining because Caitlyn draws double coverage and still finds them with no-look dimes.
This one blew up. I don't know who this person is, but they said all Caitlyn Clark has done is be white.
A lot of people who aren't fans of the Indiana Fever or don't want to see this happening, they're mad about it, but they're also not realizing that all of the other teams will also be on national TV. Networks are not thinking about hurting feelings. These networks are thinking about how much money can we bring in.
Shooters are getting better looks. Bigs are feasting off her pick and rolls. Defenders are thriving off the pace she sets. She's not just leading, she's unlocking her team. The result? The Fever are no longer playing catch-up. They're controlling tempo, controlling crowds, and most importantly, controlling headlines. The numbers tell the story.
Give me Angel Reese, give me Caitlyn Clark, because this has been box office, y'all. The young guns, the young stars have come to play. Angel at Unrivaled, training with Lisa, Leslie, and Caitlyn. We all know that girl. She lives, breathes, eats, sleeps in the gym. So I am so excited to see that matchup, those two, because anytime they go up against each other, honestly, the whole world shuts down.
Yep.
Everything shuts down.
Yep.
The Fever's merchandise sales have jumped over 600% since Caitlyn's arrival. Their social media accounts have gained millions of new followers collectively, leading the league in engagement.
The recent news that 41 out of the 44 Indiana Fever games will be nationally televised. I do not think a lot of people are understanding just how big that is. That is something that the WNBA players, WNBA media, WNBA fans have been begging for so many years.
They've been featured in Time Magazine, Sports Illustrated, Rolling Stone, and even global outlets like BBC and Al Jazeera. Sponsorship interest has exploded, with new brand deals and cross-platform activations rolling in weekly.
This is the national broadcast schedule against the Sky. It's an ABC broadcast network television game. New York Liberty. It's a CBS game. These are all going to be big rated games. CBS against the Sky. ABC against the Liberty. Here's Asia Wilson right here in the Aces on 622 on ESPN. Right here, ABC, Dallas Wings. All the Indiana Fever versus Sky games are on big networks. One of these games is going to hit 3 million viewers this year.
And still, Caitlyn Clark remains focused. She's not asking for attention. She's not flexing for the cameras. She's just hooping. The deep threes, the behind-the-back passes, the buzzer beaters, those aren't highlights anymore. That's her standard. Even opposing teams can't deny her influence. Players who once brushed her off in interviews are now giving her credit. Coaches are game planning around her like she's already a veteran superstar. And here's the wild part. She's just getting started. The league itself is feeling the pressure to adjust.
The WNBA Draft and All-Star Game demolished their viewership records with Caitlyn Clark. The Diana Taurasi draft drew 600,000. It was the most watched draft ever. Caitlyn Clark's draft drew nearly 2.5 million. 374% increase of viewership. Fever quadrupled ticket sales after drafting Clark. Washington and Indiana set the single game attendance record of 20,711 on September 19 Capital One Arena. The WNBA's average attendance last year was 9,807 fans, up 48%. And keep in mind, that was really one person that added those 3,000 fans on average.
Media networks are reorganizing primetime slots. WNBA merch stores are struggling to keep her jersey in stock. Analysts are even questioning if the entire marketing model of the league should now revolve around Caitlyn's footprint. And the Fever? They're sitting in a position no one thought they'd reach this soon. Not because of a deep bench, not because of flashy trades, but because Caitlyn Clark made them impossible to ignore. She didn't walk into the league to blend in. She walked in and made the Fever the team to watch.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
And while some still hesitate to call them the #1 team, let's be honest, they already are in everything that matters. Momentum, eyes, influence, and impact. This isn't a rebuild. This is a reignition, and Caitlyn is the spark that lit the fire. What makes this entire story even more wild is that Caitlyn Clark hasn't even hit her full stride yet. She's not just leading a franchise. She's reshaping the business model of an entire league, and she's doing it in her rookie year.
The association, they gave us a gym that I paid for. Not entirely, but they took money out of my check and I paid for it, bro.
You better get the fucking full usage of that.
Man, I got hot tub, cold tub, weight room, full court basketball room. I walk in today, I'm on one side working out, Caitlyn Clark on the other side.
Really?
I look at myself, there you go, 2 fucking legends, Patty.
Did you say what's up?
You know I say what's up, but I'm not the type to say what's up to interrupt your workout because I don't like people to interrupt mine. She can shoot the shit out of it.
And the WNBA assist leader this past year.
She can shoot the shit out the ball.
She's a great shooter.
And she's one of those workout people, got to think, anytime I hit the court, I got to hit that bike. I'm older now, so I got to get on that bike and stroll for a couple 5, 6, 7 minutes. So while I'm strolling through the park, I'm looking at her shoot it. And she's one of those shooters where if you know as a gym rat, you guys know, like, damn, bro, why you throw that pass bad? Give me the ball in my chest. I'm like, oh, she's a gangster also.
She's lighting people up.
Throw me the ball the way I want it.
What drill was it? What drill was she running?
I don't know. She was doing a 2 in a row corner wing. And if you miss, you have to go back to the next spot. And if you missed again, you have to go back to the starting spot. She had a nice drill. I'm literally still in it.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right. So she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Think about that for a second. Most rookies are just trying to survive, learn the system, find their rhythm, avoid getting benched. But Caitlyn, she walked into the WNBA and instantly became the league's center of gravity. ESPN can't stop talking about her. TikTok is flooded with her highlights. WNBA team owners are publicly thanking her for boosting their ticket revenue. One exec even admitted that Caitlyn Clark games are keeping entire franchises afloat right now.
Sigh, I miss the unrivaled already. They're mad. Caitlyn Clark didn't play in that league. They want her out. They want you fans out of the league.
Angel Wilson's talking about sitting out for more money. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever, hey, we're putting every game on TV for Caitlyn Clark. Everybody wants to watch her.
This is the year that they want to do whatever they possibly can to show that they deserve more and also be profitable.
One of the worst WNBA fans and one of CC's biggest haters is already complaining. They don't like the game of basketball at all. They just want to support Reese. I've said the majority of her fans are not Hoops fans.
And while other rookies might crack under that pressure, Caitlyn Clark is thriving in it. She's showing up to every game with the poise of a veteran, dishing 10 assists, splashing logo threes, and bringing the kind of energy that makes even road arenas feel like home games. When she steps on the court, everything shifts. The vibe, the pace, the crowd, the coverage. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever organization has never looked more alive. The team is unified, confident, and building a culture around Caitlyn's leadership.
Most influential female athletes right now. Coco Gauff, 10. Juju Watkins, number 9. Cameron Brent, 8. Paige Beckers, number 7. Sabrina Ionescu, number 6. Asia Wilson. So Asia's not going to be happy either. Jakari Richardson was number 4. Simone Biles, number 3, right here. I can't quite get past the fact that Simone Biles is behind Angel Reese. Caitlyn Clark, she ran away with number 1. I don't think that should surprise us. She came away with number 1. Caitlyn Clark is redefining the entire landscape of women's sports. Her dominance on the court has shattered outdated narratives about women's sports, proving that women's basketball can be just as marketable and widely watched as men's. But the Caitlyn Clark effect goes far beyond her performance. It's reshaping the entire sports landscape. Her presence alone boosts the WNBA attendance by 105% compared to games without her, while road games featuring her Indiana Fever see an 87% increase in opponent home attendance. Her rookie debut sparked a staggering 200% jump in WNBA viewership, while Fever home games drew a league-high 186,000 fans last season, a 265% increase from 2023.
And that's the key. She's not just a scorer. She's not just a show. She's a culture changer. That's why she's earned the crown. Not just for herself, but for the entire franchise. Critics used to say she wouldn't last against pro-level defenders, that the physicality would humble her, that her college stats wouldn't translate. Now those same critics are pretending they never doubted her as she cooks the league's best and drops dimes that make highlight reels every single night.
With everyone trying to diminish the wave that was happening, the Clarkonomics that were happening, the Caitlyn Clark effect that was happening, and realizing it is not only going to be good for this Indiana Fever team, it's going to be great for everyone. It's going to be great for every single player in the WNBA and also every single team in the WNBA.
And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Envy is rising. Veterans, rival rookies, even certain analysts have started throwing shade. Why? Because Caitlyn isn't just winning. She's doing it in a way the league has never seen. She's the storyline. The reason every media outlet is covering women's basketball like it's the NBA Finals. The reason sponsors are shelling out record money for courtside placement. She made the Indiana Fever the #1 team in America, not because of a stacked roster, but because of sheer impact.
Now you got universities trying to defend Angel Reese and make her out as the victim. Newly published study from Rice University and the University of Illinois at Chicago takes a data-driven look at one of the most polarizing sports controversies in recent memory, the Angel Reese versus Caitlyn Clark debate from the 2023 NCAA Championship. During the title game between LSU and the University of Iowa, Caitlyn Clark, the Iowa star guard, made a now famous "you can't see me" hand gesture, a taunt originally popularized by wrestler John Cena. Without much controversy, however, when LSU's Angel Reese made the same gesture toward Clark in the closing moments of the game, the reaction was starkly different. Reese was immediately labeled as classless and unsportsmanlike by some media personalities and fans, sparking a nationwide discussion about double standards in sports, race, and gender. Now a new study quantifies what many already suspected. Public and media reactions to Reese and Clark were not just different, but radicalized. Before, during, and after the game to unpack the racial dynamics at play. The study found that Clark was largely celebrated. Reese was disproportionately criticized, often with racial undertones.
Visibility, market power, performance, energy, leadership. These are things you can't fake, and Caitlyn has them all, naturally.
We got an article from Front Office Sports. 6 WNBA teams have moved games versus Caitlyn Clark in the Fever. Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. Chicago Sky moved 2 games. Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden. Dallas Wings have moved 1 game to American Airlines Center. Las Vegas Aces have moved 1 game, and the Mystics have 2 games moved.
So yes, the Fever may still be climbing in the standings, but in every way that counts, their influence, their fan base, their place in history, they've already taken the crown, and they owe it all to one name, Caitlyn freaking Clark.
The Indiana Fever is America's team. The haters, by the time this season is over, their heads are going to have exploded already. They're going to be so angry by the end of this WNBA season. It's going to be hilarious watching the daily meltdown.
The Indiana Fever didn't need a championship to be crowned the #1 team in the nation. They needed Caitlyn Clark. One player changed the culture, changed the ratings, changed the money, and changed the conversation. She didn't just elevate a franchise, she transformed the entire league. And while others chase attention, Caitlyn earns it.
And what's killing me is it's the fans that are demanding that these players make more money, but they don't want to support the very player that's causing that money to be made. They can't stand her. We know why. We watched the poor young lady get demolished last year.
Every pass, every bucket, every game. She turned pressure into power and made the Fever the center of the basketball universe. So if you're witnessing this revolution and riding with the team that's leading it, drop Queen Clark runs the court in the comments and smash that subscribe button. Because this isn't hype, it's history. And the Fever, they're just getting started.